few days left in Paris, and lately I've been trying to tick off all the places that had been living on my list for so long. And I think part of the reason why these experiences mean so much to me is because growing up, I never really traveled much. But honestly, back then, social media also wasn't making everyone's summer look like a Zara campaign in the south of France. People weren't casually shaking their asses on private yachts in Mykonos every other weekend, which unfortunately for me is now something that I desperately aspire to do. While a lot of my friends often traveled, my parents were busy doing something else, building a life for us. And honestly, I'll always be grateful for that. But I think because of that, I never became nonchalant about experiences like these. So now every time I visit a new place, try a cuisine I've never had before, or experience cultures completely different from my own, I genuinely soak it all in like an overstimulated child on a school trip. And maybe that's why these last few days in Paris feel a little bittersweet. One of the places I finally crossed off my list was Le Caveau de la Rochette, the iconic jazz club everyone says feels straight out of La La Land. Ironically, I still haven't watched the movie. And okay, controversial opinion, but the place is kind of mid and slightly overhyped. It's insanely crowded and you can barely move. And at one point, I genuinely felt like I was being marinated in other people's body heat. But I still get the hype. The dim lighting, the vintage interiors, jazz music echoing through the walls, girls dressed ridiculously pretty, and people dancing like rent wasn't due next week. It honestly felt like stepping into another era. And what I really liked the most was seeing both old and young people under one roof, completely connected through music. And sitting there, slightly dehydrated, I still had this tiny moment of appreciation for how beautiful it is, and that every culture has its own way of celebrating life.